Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the forecast for each life path number for the beginning of this new year, January 2025. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like your own personal reading with your own personal numerology, please book some time with me. I would love to work with you. My information is in the description box below. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this big energy that we are kicking off 2025 with. Life path number 2, you all are going to be working with the vibration of the 12-3 for January. So you start the year off sort of with a pause, sort of with this sort of being put in waiting and to slow down a little bit. And the purpose of this is to help you to gain some kind of change of perspective, to perhaps take a closer look at the direction that you're moving in, to make sure that that's the direction you want to be moving in, and that's where you want to invest your energy as you move forward, throughout 2025. So this is a quiet pause in your life when you should spend some time thinking, learning to see things that, see beyond the illusion, basically. This is what this year is starting off for you. To be able to see things how they really are and not necessarily how they appear. So again, digging deeper, going beyond the illusion to get to the truth of something, right? So I would say as things present this month, don't be too quick to say yes or no. Take your time to dig a little bit deeper, to ask the questions, to have the conversations, to make sure that, again, where you are committing yourself, where you're saying yes or no, whether you're dismissing something or going all in on something, you want to make sure that you have the whole story or as much as possible. And there's a likelihood that what is being presented is not the full story. And it's not that there's deception or anything like that. It's almost like things are happening too quickly. And so this energy is saying, slow down, take your time. There's no rush. Make sure that you have the whole story before you commit or sort of take on something. And before you take something just at face value, whatever that may be, there's likely going to be very clear where the polarities are, right? Like that will be brought to your attention, and it's going to be up to you to find a way to create that inner harmony that can be found between those polarities, right? So, there's so many ways that this could show up, and it's going to be unique for you, but really it comes back to this is going to be a month for finding your center, for coming back into balance, for coming back into neutral, to make sure that you're not being easily influenced, you're not being taken advantage of, you're not just sort of going out on a whim, but you're taking your time and making sure that it makes sense, whatever it may be for you. And it's not that you're meant to be like overly cautious or overly protective or, convoluted with overthinking about it. It's just, you're just being asked to slow down and take your time. Just know that there's no rush. You don't want to rush into something, especially if it's high stakes. If there's some kind of opportunity that comes up that's asking you to commit to it long term, or again, there's some kind of high stakes, you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence. And this month is going to kind of remind you of that, how important that is. And to recognize that even though there's polarities, there's a center point. And that center point is where the calm is. That's where the equilibrium is. And so keep coming back to that, or find your way back to that. And when you can do that internally, you'll start to see it sort of reflected externally from your environment. And so that's sort of the goal as well, right? To sort of have that peace and harmony, not only internally, but reflected externally as well. Pay attention to your thoughts at this time and, recognize that there might need to be some kind of a change in your perspective, your viewpoint, your values, even your belief systems, and sort of the process of going beyond the illusions and getting to the truth of something, or getting to how you truly feel about it, coming back to center, can help you to achieve that change in perspective, change in view. And really that slowing down, that pausing is asking you to, or helping you to get that new perspective. So it can feel a little punitive, especially if you had some really good momentum in some area and then all of a sudden the brakes are being put on and you're being asked to slow down, or you're kind of put in this waiting room of life. It can feel a little punitive, but it really isn't. It's really just saying, slow down, take your time, and perhaps there is a different way to look at things sort of to be discovered there, and take advantage of it. Also, this is a month where slowing down, self-soothing, relaxing is really going to serve you. It's really going to help you to rejuvenate, to get prepared for the year ahead and this new shift in energy that we're all feeling. It will help you to fill up your cup so that you're ready to take on whatever presents for you in the coming months. This is a month where you don't really have to force things. If you have to force something, then just find a way to not force it, because you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to turn your wheels and get frustrated. So this is definitely a month where you can step away from something, let it sort of work itself out. You will find that it will work itself out, right? If you're forcing and not seeing any results, then it doesn't need you in order to work itself out. You're actually creating a dynamic where you're keeping it from working out by forcing. So by taking the brakes off and letting things play out, you'll actually find that they'll work out the way that they're meant to work out. You'll know where you're needed and where you're meant to put in your effort and where you're meant to show up and how. Go, do that, but don't continue to force things that, you're not seeing that return of investment from that energy expended. I think you'll find that things will work out for themselves now without that force or that additional effort on your part. Some situations, again, you're going to need to show up to. You're going to need to put in that effort, and you'll know where that is, and it will flow. And the more that you can kind of go with the flow, the more comfortable this month will be, and the more beneficial the results will be that you'll get out of it, and you won't feel as frustrated. You could see that some situations will come to a head, and a lot will be settled, again, from not forcing or not trying to control the situation too much, but letting things sort of flow. So again, kind of let the cycle work for you. Observe where you can observe, reflect where you can reflect, let go where you can let go. And, this will be a time where you can get rejuvenated and see, and you'll see that, when I stop forcing, when I stop trying to control, things work out. They play out like they're supposed to. And I benefit from that. So this is an interesting month for, having that patience, but also that self-control as well, and not trying to force things or control things that are out of your reach. If you do stay too focused on sort of those physical matters, and try to force and try to, keep pushing, you could see some reversals this month. You could see some hardships when it comes to friendships, when it comes to finances. There could be some trials and some loss from that forcing and what you're actually pushing away by forcing. So again, this is a month where if you feel like you're constantly having to show up and force, this is the month to release that, because you're actually doing more harm than good. And that can be in relationships, in, anything, career, whatever. This is a month to sit back, see what flows, see where you're needed, and show up and put in your effort in that way. This vibration, promises success and promises fulfillment, but it's interesting because it's actually through that acceptance that you can't control everything, that you can't, just force things. It's actually this beautiful lesson in accepting what you can't control and what you can't change, and embracing what you can. which is really beautiful energy. You got wolf energy for your spirit message. And so this is beautiful because, we think of wolves and they're usually, they are pack animals, right? There's no such thing as a lone wolf. A lone wolf will die in the wild eventually. They're pack animals. So there's definitely something here about collaboration, for going with a natural order of things. Again, not forcing, taking your time, slowing down. And the beauty of wolves, as with most animals, it's like they rest when they need to rest. They take action when they're meant to take action, and they rejuvenate, right? They're not constantly in go mode. They're not constantly hunting. And so there's definitely something here about getting the best results by going with the flow, going with the natural order of things, going with the nature of the experience, right? And what is driving that experience, and recognizing what that might be for you. And again, at the core of it, recognizing what you can't change and embracing what you can, right? Surrendering what you cannot change and letting it play out the way that it needs to, and embracing what you can change and putting your effort there. So, and working with others in that process. So beautiful energy here. I do think, especially with wolf energy coming through, and with this vibration, the more that you can slow down, the more you can surrender, the more you can find acceptance, the more you'll actually see the results come through. So yeah, beautiful energy, but it'll be as challenging as it needs to be in order to get you to slow down. So I hope it's a great one. Take care. Bye for now.